Hello, great people. If not for the grace, goodness, and mercy of God, the senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti, would have been a corpse by now. She would have been dead as there was an assassination attempt on her life in her family house. On this episode of Politics, I'll be sharing with you some permutations and some secrets, and we'll be doing some political arithmetic together. Why do people want Senator Natasha Akpoti her dead? For what purpose, to what end, and how did the assassination attempt happen? Why did it happen? And to what end and to what purpose? And what is the future risk that Senator Natasha Akpoti would likely face? We'll be dissecting all this and a whole lot more on this episode with your short blog, Dr. Omoshola. First, before I share with you how it happened, let me bring you up to speed. You will recall that Senator Natasha Akpoti accused the Senate President, Akpabio, of sexual harassment, and the sexual harassment allegation was about the time whereby she refused the seat allocated to her on the floor of the Senate, and she made an allegation against the Senate President, but the Senate suspended her for 6 months on allegation of misconduct on the floor of the Nigerian Senate. And after that, there have been back and forth altercation between the senator and the Senate President. Recently, she accused the Senate President and former governor of Kogi State, Bello, of trying to assassinate her, that they were planning, that they were the one behind her recall. And the issue have been going back and forth. The case is in court. There are petitions before the Inspector General of Police. A whole lot of issues surrounding Senator Natasha Akpoti altercation with Senate President Akpabio and the former governor of Kogi State, Bello. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You will recall that when Senator Natasha Akpoti was to hold a get-together with her constituency, the police and the state declared that, they placed an embargo on movement in the state. They said nobody is allowed to move. They blocked the land, they blocked the waterways, and they even declared a curfew, just so that Senator Natasha Akpoti will not be able to meet with her constituency. But damning the consequence, Senator Natasha Akpoti flew into her country home with an helicopter. Now, this is where she began to have problem. That particular step caused a lot of pain for the Senate President Akpabio, the former governor of Kogi State, Bello, and the incumbent governor Usman Ododo, because they are told that after their permutation, how is this lady, how was she able to breach all their permutation? Don't forget that the police was also involved. And when the rally was held at our country home, it went viral. I think viral is an understatement. Something can be viral and not be global. The rally went global. And when that rally went global, they were pained. They felt very embarrassed. And you will recall that the Commissioner of Information in the state said that it is the police that would determine the fate of Senator Natasha Akpoti, having held a rally against the order of the state and the police. But then again, I think the police was afraid of embarrassing itself further. So since then, they have not talked about arresting or charging Senator Natasha Akpoti. Now, after the Senator Natasha Akpoti departed Kogi State, then she sent her brother home. This is as regards the assassination attempt that occurred apparently on Tuesday night, has been reported. And I will read you a statement by the media team of the senator in a moment. Now, the assassination attempt occurred in the family house of Senator Natasha Akpoti in Obieba, Ihima, Kogi State. So some of you that are from Kogi State will know what I'm talking about. They call it Obieba, Ihima in Kogi State. Now, when that assassination attempt happened, this is exactly what transpired. The junior brother of Senator Natasha Akpoti, the junior brother went to the country home in her constituency. He took some contractors home so that they can inspect some project. You know that Senator Natasha Akpoti is good at delivering the dividends of democracy to her constituency. So she sent her brother home to go and inspect the locations and mobilize for an upcoming project. So when people saw the vehicle, the convoy, and all the setting, they thought that Senator Natasha Akpoti is around. So I thought that the senator is around. When it was now evening, at exactly about 1 a.m., as it was reported, the gunmen reportedly struck with guns, arms and ammunition, cutlasses, and different kind of arms to arm the senator. the senator was their target. And I'll tell you the reason why I said the senator was their target in a moment. The senator was apparently their target because they didn't auto harm anybody, but they destroyed some properties, including the windows in that particular house. Now, that our brother that went home for the project was the one that they thought, oh, the senator is around. And that is why, kudos to Senator Natasha Akpoti for being wise, for not going home, not to talk of spending the night. Rather, she sent her brother. But then there was a political miscalculation in that regard. This is apparently the work of assailants, or should I call it political assailant, who may be the political disciples, apparently, of the former governor of Kogi State, Bello, and his political godson, the incumbent governor, Usman Ododo. Now, this is where it gets a little bit dicey. You see, this assassination attempt, Bello himself may not know about it. Usman Ododo may not know about it. Now, Akpabio may not even know about it. You see, when you occupy an high political office in Nigeria, you have some political loyalists that are ready to fight your battle, even if you don't send them on an errand. There's no politician in Nigeria that don't have what we call private militia. All of them allegedly have a private militia, and I have done a scientific research where I assert that when you are a politician and you are rising to stardom in Nigeria, even if you don't want a private militia, the private militia would naturally evolve, because there will be people flocking around you. There will be people who will be overzealous, who will be trying to kind of like play their love you more than God approved, who will be willing to do anything for you. So this may be the work of political assailant, of which, in the true sense of it, from my lens, Bello may not even be aware. But when the deed has been done, he may now be briefed that, oh, Baba, we took this action. That babe done the fuck up. Now me do that runs because I know say that babe don't fuck up for yourself, and you will be our Baba anytime, any day. Now, you know those kind of a thing. So even Bello may not be aware. Now, these are the issues. You see, these are political assailants, as I asserted, because they didn't kill anyone. And that's one of the modus operandi of assailants. When assassins, if they want to carry out a job, they go for their target. If they don't meet their target, they won't touch anything, they won't touch anybody. And this is what happened in the family house of Senator Natasha Akpoti in Obeiba, Ihima, Kogi State. They didn't touch anything, they didn't touch anybody. When they couldn't get hold of their target, who happens to be Senator Natasha Akpoti, they left. And perhaps, maybe they would have wreaked havoc if not for the timely intervention of the civil defense that were around at that particular point in time, and the local community themselves, who are lovers of Senator Natasha Akpoti. They all rally around, mobilize, and before you know it, the assailants apparently had to flee. Now, this is one of the implications of the Senate withdrawing as security. You will recall that when Senator Natasha Akpoti was suspended, the Senate President, Akpabio, during plenary, passed out a prayer that those in support that security be withdrawn say hi. And some of the senators, they were saying hi. And I remember the former Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawan, rose to say that, well, he is not saying that do not suspend Senator Natasha, but don't withdraw as security, because of what gain is it to the Senate if anything happens to her. And if you set that precedent, tomorrow it may be your turn and they will also withdraw your security. And don't forget that if they withdraw as security, definitely the one that she is going around with as escort every day, including the one in her country home, will be withdrawn. So that means that particular their family house was left vulnerable because the Senate had withdrawn as security. Well, what I can say is shame on the Nigerian Senate. How would it have looked like if she has been assassinated? Then both of you, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, will now be suspending plenary. They will now be, they now be saying, "Oh, she was a good lady." This, that, this. Shame on the Nigerian Senate, and it is a shame the way the males have been conducting themselves. The males in the Nigerian Senate, the men there, have been conducting themselves as if they don't have problem with their wives. As if their wives, don't usually offend them. And if their wives offend them, definitely will they put the life of their wife on the line. So it's been a shameful conduct by withdrawing her security, which has led to an assassination attempt on her life in her country home. Now, there is a political dimension to this assassination attempt, which is the politics of governorship ambition and the politics of senatorial ambition. Now, Senator Natasha Akpoti is a senator, but she has contested for governorship before, and people have been influencing her that to contest for governorship again. Now, this is where the problem is. If she contests for governor, she will be contesting against Usman Ododo, who is apparently afraid of her political mightiness in the state and her growing popularity. Now, if she contests for senator again, there are reports that Yaya Bello is interested in contesting to be a senator in 2027. Well, before you say Jesus is Lord, I too thought of it that is it not the same Yaya Bello that is currently facing corruption charges with the EFCC? Well, that is Nigeria for you. That's the kind of politics we play. And I can tell you that if Yaya Bello can play ball with the key people and the right people, definitely Yaya Bello may be on the ballot in 2027, and they may even rig the election in his favor. And before you know it, somebody that is supposed to allegedly be in prison will be making laws for the Nigerian populace. So the politics of 2027 ambition, I think, has a role to play in this alleged assassination attempt, in the sense that Natasha is being pushed by some people to be a governor. And don't forget that she said it on her Rise News that she would beat both Yaya Bello and Usman Ododo if they appear on the same ballot together. Join two of them together, she's going to defeat them. And if she's going to contest in 2027 for senatorial election, it will be a very tough battle between her and Yaya Bello. But what I can say is the Nigerian government should make sure that Natasha is adequately protected. Nothing must happen to that senator, else it will be a major issue. And my utmost fear is that in this Nigeria, Muritala Mohammed was killed. Nothing happened. Bola Ige, and Attorney General of the Federation, was killed. Nothing happened. Dele Giwa was killed. Nothing happened. Dipo Dino, the bright candidate under ACN then in Ogun State, some of you will know him, Otumba Dipo Dino, was killed. Nothing happened. Funshaw Williams was killed. Nothing happened. And so many others. So the question is, if Natasha had been killed, what would have happened? But thank God that she escaped, and thank God that she wasn't involved. Thank God that she wasn't even at home at that point in time. So the point now is for the Nigerian Senate to immediately restore her security, and for the Nigerian Police DSS, being a person of interest to political figures, should grant her adequate security. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.